Hello my friends, today we decode the symbols in the Black Panther poster. When I first saw this poster for Black Panther, I immediately noticed that there was Nizbiti in the background, but the lettering that was on T'Challa's throne were unrecognizable to me. I initially just assumed that they were made-up glyphs from Marvel, but I was unwilling to leave it at that and decided to do some further research. During my research, an anonymous source gave me a little tip saying that the script that is on T'Challa's throne is known as Tifinagh. So, of course, I wanted to know what this Tifinagh looked like, and while I was researching that, I happened to learn that Tifinagh comes from another script known as Ancient Berber, aka Lybic. And also there was an unrelated script known as Sabian script that I happened to come across during this period of research. None of the three scripts, however, seem to match up perfectly with the lettering that's on T'Challa's throne. So I met two people online who can read and write Tifinagh. You'll see their names right here. And they told me that the lettering that's on this throne does look a bit like Tifinagh, but it is not indeed Tifinagh. Nor is it Lybic, which I have one of them to thank for telling me that Ancient Berber was even called Lybic in the first place. I was not aware of that. Lybic is the more appropriate term for that script. And as they told me, although some of the lettering on that throne does match up, you cannot read what is on that throne. So ultimately, what we see on T'Challa's throne is a sort of hodgepodge of inspiration from all three of these scripts, but is not specifically one of them. So that is why we cannot read what is on this particular throne. So a couple of notes before we move on to the next set of symbols. Sabian is a script that I'm still not too familiar with, but from what I understand it's used in both Ethiopia and the Middle East, which makes sense because the Middle East and Ethiopia are very close to each other, so there's going to be some cultural overlap. Tifinagh, which is of course related to Lybic, is used by the Tuareg. The Tuareg can be found in many different African countries, which you can see on the map on screen. The Tuaregs are part of the Berber group of people. The Berbers are very important in world history, in that they played an incredibly important role in the trans-Saharan trade, which not only connected North Africa to sub-Saharan Africa, but also Africa to the Middle East and even Europe. Though the rest of the world knows these people as Berbers, it should be noted that traditionally they call themselves Anazigh. Anazigh means free or noble, whereas Berber means barbarians, which was a name given to them by the Arab invaders during the spread of Islam. As for why the Arabs called the Anazigh Berbers, or barbarians, is because the Anazigh fought very hard to defend against the Arab invasion. And it's worth noting, one of the major leaders of this resistance was a Zenata Berber queen, known to the Arab historians as Al-Kahina. That said, as we all know, Islam did successfully spread to North Africa eventually, and also other parts of Africa as well. Anyway, getting back to Tifinagh, I'm kind of surprised I didn't know about the Tifinagh script earlier, because as I've laid out, the Berber, and by extension the Tuareg, are an important part of history. But for whatever reason, the Tifinagh script just sort of flew over my radar. On the other hand, the other set of symbols that are on this poster I've known about quite a long time, and they are called Nizbiti. Nizbiti comes from Nigeria and originates with the Ejagham people, also known as the Ekoi people. Ekoi secret societies use Nizbiti to communicate. Nizbiti embodies power and is considered a vital force. In fact, mastering this obscure set of symbols is one way in which Ekoi leaders establish their authority. These glyphs are so important that during times of crisis, the most powerful among these symbols would be drawn onto the earth itself as a means of protection. Another thing worth mentioning is that neighboring people such as the Ibibio, Efik, and Igbo people use Nizbiti as well. They can be drawn on such things as drums, fans, houses, textiles, and more. Alrighty, so let's look at the Nizbiti that can be found in the Black Panther poster. First, we're going to look at what each symbol literally means, and then we're going to do a second translation in which we take the Nizbiti conjunctions into account. Now keep in mind that we only are seeing part of the pillar here, which means we're not seeing all of the symbols that are on display. Now starting from the top of what we can see of this pillar, we have the symbols for talk, unity, congress, talk, journey, unity, speech, chief, talk, unity, and country. Now if we take the conjunctions into account, this reads and congress for leopard chief and country. And being that a panther and leopard are the same animal genetically speaking, just with different pigments, that means that this is actually saying and congress for panther chief and country. So of course we have an incomplete sentence here. We would need to see what the other symbols are on the rest of the pillar to complete the sentence. But at the very least we get some sort of understanding of what is written on these pillars in the Black Panther poster. Hold on, I just found out that one of the newer Black Panther posters shows us the other symbols that are on these pillars. First we have the love and unity symbol, and then we have... what the vibranium is that thing? Hulk smash! Oh wait, never mind, I found it. It apparently means strength. I spent forever looking for this thing. I was about to throw in the towel on this one, but I finally figured it out. Mr. Towel, you can bite my shiny metal vibranium claws. Alrighty, now that we've finally settled that, the final message appears to be love and unity, strength and congress for Panther Chief and country. P.S. Those triangles in the background that are next to the Congress symbol might also be a Nizbiti sign, which stands for leadership and prowess in war. Two other things that I can mention about this poster before we end today's video is that the throne that T'Challa sits upon is actually quite similar in shape to a throne from Ghana, minus the back part of it. And another thing that's worth noticing is that in this room, despite it having an overall futuristic look, the very center of the room, you can see that the floor is designed with traditional mud architecture. Thank you so much for watching, and have a happy Black History Month. I plan to do more videos about the Black Panther movie during this month, so please stay tuned for more. And remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And please share this video with your friends. I am Groot!